We get a lot of questions about the Roth 5-year clock rules and how they work. And it's no surprise because the tax laws are notoriously complex with multiple conditions and exceptions. My goal in this video is to explain in simple terms how the Roth IRA 5-year clocks work, and I'm also going to give you a visual chart that will help you to really simplify these complex rules. The first thing to know is that there are 3 ways money gets into a Roth IRA: from direct contributions, from conversions, and from investment earnings. The IRS knows which dollars within all the person's Roth accounts came from contributions, which came from conversions, and which came from investment earnings. They keep track of that because Roth distributions follow a strict ordering rules. When you take distributions from a Roth IRA, contributions always come out first. When they are depleted, converted dollars come out next. And when they are depleted, investment earnings come out last. Those are the ordering rules. And it doesn't matter from which Roth IRA account you take the distributions from, if you have more than one, because the IRS sees only one big Roth IRA bucket, regardless of how many separate Roth IRA accounts you may or may not have. One bucket of Roth IRA dollars subdivided into contributions, conversions, and investment earnings. So what about access to these dollars? A person can always withdraw Roth IRA funds, no questions asked. The issue is whether those dollars will be subject to the 10% early withdrawal penalty, and or if there will be any taxes on the earnings. So this is where the Roth 5-year clock rules come into play. There are actually 2 different Roth 5-year clock rules, which is why it's easy to get them confused. These 2 rules, the 2 5-year clock rules are used for different purposes. The first 5-year clock is used for only one purpose, and that is to determine whether the distribution of converted Roth amounts is subject to the 10% early distribution penalty. The good news is that it's not an issue when the person receiving the distribution is age 59 and a half or older, since the penalty doesn't apply at all. And even if the person is under 59 and a half, the penalty still doesn't apply if the converted amount has been held for at least 5 years. So for example, let's say a 50-year-old completes a Roth conversion, they could access those converted funds penalty-free at age 55. This 5-year clock actually starts ticking on January 1st of the year of the conversion, so the actual holding period can be less than 5 years. To complicate things even further, every conversion will have its own 5-year clock. But you don't need to worry about that if the Roth funds remain untouched until retirement or beyond age 59 and a half. The second 5-year clock has nothing to do with the 10% early distribution penalty. Instead, it determines whether the investment earnings within a Roth IRA will be tax-free or taxable when distributed. This second clock, we will call the forever clock, starts ticking on January 1st of the year a person makes their first contribution or conversion to any Roth IRA. So for example, let's say a 62-year-old that has never had a Roth IRA does their first Roth conversion. They could access those converted funds penalty-free immediately, but their investment earnings on the converted funds would have to wait 5 years before the earnings would be tax-free. So in this example, they would not want to withdraw their earnings until at least age 67. So getting the forever clock started is why it's so important for everyone to open up a Roth IRA as early as possible, even if funded with a small amount, just to get the clock ticking. So to rephrase, once a person is over 59 and a half and they have any Roth IRA for 5 years, then they are home free. No clocks to ever worry about again. The only time a person over 59 and a half would have to worry about a 5-year clock is if and when they're in a situation where they never had a Roth IRA at all until that first Roth conversion. So for investment earnings to be tax-free, you have to have a Roth IRA for 5 years, including people over age 59 and a half. But once you have any Roth IRA for 5 years and you're over 59 and a half, your earnings are tax-free and any existing 5-year clock conversions simply disappear. Now, you may know of Ed Slott CPA. I'm a member of the Ed Slott Master Elite Advisor Group, and we have a great chart with a timeline that is very helpful to really get some clarity on these 5-year rules. It's available free for download on the Financial Fastlane. Just go to thefinancialfastlane.com and click on resources in the top of the menu. So I hope you found this beneficial, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Financial Fastlane.